Katie, when TJ Jefferson wins 1 week of fantasy football, he's on one all week. He's celebrating, popping bottles. He wins week 5. We don't see him till Thursday. What do you do to celebrate? What's the turn up like now that you're home?
Hey, I've had my share of fantasy football experiences like that as well. But I'm just trying to relax and enjoy this and enjoy being with my family and friends, being reunited with my family and friends, coming off these games, and just trying to let it all sink in. After the Rio games, I took a very short 2 or 3 week break, and I was back at it with my goals for Tokyo. And I do have my eyes set on Paris in 2024, and I know that I'll be back in the pool pretty soon, working hard for that. But for right now, I'm really going to take a breather, enjoy being with my family and friends, and let it all soak in.
Let's just take a moment now. Round of applause that you're going for it again, because that was something everybody in here was curious about, the idea of, is she going to get back in the pool and try and make another run at it?
Yeah, Katie, and you kind of gave Michelle Tafoya some side-eye when she suggested that maybe this was your last Olympics. When did you make that decision, and when are you going to start training again for Paris?
No, it was a totally valid question, and I love Michelle, and I feel bad if anyone thought that I had a reaction to that question at all, because no, I've always had my eyes set on Paris, and I think I've been pretty clear about that over the past several years. And I don't have my goals yet for Paris. All I know is I want to be there, and I want to compete for Team USA. And in the next several months, I'll start getting into the weeds in terms of deciding what events I want to target, what kinds of times I want to achieve, what kinds of medals I might want to earn, those kinds of things. But for right now, I'm keeping my mind off of that as best I can. It's a little hard because, yes, you do get asked that right after the races from anyone and everyone. So I know it's going to start becoming more and more of a focus for me over the next several months. But for right now, as I said, I'm still letting Tokyo 2021 sink in.
Well, in addition to winning a ton of Olympic medals, you mentioned that you've won some weeks in fantasy football. So, Katie, I'm very curious about your fantasy approach. Do you work the waiver wire? Do you try and make a blockbuster trade? How do you construct your roster for fantasy?
I've been playing fantasy football with my cousins for a while now, and some people are a little more serious than others. And I joke with my mom, I think we're the two that probably do the most adding and dropping of players, and some of my cousins who don't do anything end up winning more games than we do. So I think my strategy going into this fall is probably just going to be to be hands off as much as possible, and maybe even have some spots empty on my starting roster like some of my cousins do some weeks, and see if that somehow gets me to win.
Hey, Katie, this is TJ. I want to say congratulations. And since I'm putting together a Rich Eisen Show Fantasy Football League, I would love to extend an invite to you to play in our league. What do you think? I mean, you don't have to be here. We're pretty lax, but, we do expect you to put a starting lineup in every week. So the invite's there. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, I maybe created some trouble for myself by talking about this. Get all sorts of invitations now.
Well, this is what happens when you win a bunch of medals. You get all types of pitches, and people want to do business, so they want to invite you in their fantasy football league.
It's more so that we could say we have a gold medalist in our league. So it's more for us than it is for you, Katie, just to be honest. But we'd love to have you.
There we go.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.